Going on YouTube, we're back here with another video on Kira Zero Nightmare, and we're going to be talking about what is the best thing to farm in terms of the seasonal chaos or the zero system. And before we get into the pros and cons, I just want to start off with how to get a lot of dupes on a character. So let's say if I want to redo my Tressa where I get one more shadow reload and probably take away 2 dagger throws, what I'll do is run Tressa with Hugo and Mika. You could run whatever, but that's what I'm going to run. And what I'm going to do is with every card that could get epiphanied, copied, I'm gonna take them away. So through via events or at the start where it's like select and remove 2 cards, I'm gonna try to, you know, get rid as much of these type of cards as I can. So Source of War, Blessing Wars, Tactical Analysis, Whirlpool, Deluge, I'm gonna try to get rid of them. Same with Hugo, I'm gonna try to get rid of Fixer's Approach, Dingo, Howling, Quick Fix, Fan of Daggers. It's not easy to remove all of them, but you could really thin their deck to do this. So, you know, I'm more likely to get, you know, epiphanies on Tressa, and I'm more likely to get copies on Tressa because she has more of her epiphany cards available. Kind of the thing I do to personally try get a lot of dupe clicks on a 1 card. Obviously luck counts as well. Just whoever you're building for, the other 2 characters you're running with them, try to remove as much epiphany cards as you can on them. Pros with the zero system, of course, is mostly the guaranteed copy event in the interior side. So if you're going for like certain decks, you could get that copy, so you could get the 3rd or 4th, you know, card for that said character. Unlike in the seasonal chaos, is really not the best when it comes to the copy event on the second side. You know, sometimes you get the other one where it's like select 3, 1 out of 3 I should say. So it's probably why you're gonna see some people say zero system is better to farm a certain deck. Another one that I want to say is probably the equipment as well. There's some like really good equipment that you could get in the zero system with certain worlds that you obviously can't get in the seasonal chaos. And some of these equipments are like really good. So yeah, apart from those pros, they ain't really much nothing else. It's just really if you want to get like a really certain deck. Like for example, this is something I got in the seasonal chaos, but let's say if I went to the zero system, I would have a good chance of getting 4 shadow reloads if of course I get the shadow reload epiphany, right? And I would probably like take away these 2 dagger throws as well. Cons of the zero system is if you want to refresh, you have to use these 2, and this is going to run out really quick. And your units, even though they gave us a lot back, you know, you probably just want to save it to build characters or whatever. You know, you don't want to just keep spamming this and it's just going to go lower and lower. So that's, you know, one of the cons I would say about the zero system. You know, and it's just like refreshing until you get the save data value tier that you want, and obviously the debuffs as well. So it can cost a lot of resources, but I would say if you're building like a DPS character where you're trying to get copies of 1 card a lot, I'll say zero system is pretty good for it. Now we're gonna get into the seasonal chaos and the pros and cons of that. Now with the seasonal chaos, I feel like it's easier to build like really small decks like this because you could keep refreshing. And what I mean by that is, like, let's say you went to a chaos run. Say if I went into this right now, I could escape, and if I was to escape this save there, everything here will stay the same. Unlike the zero system, if you escape from the zero system, that world, that tear, everything there is gone. You have to re-roll it again. The codex will be gone basically. But with the zero system, you could escape, everything here will stay the same, and you could just re-enter it until you get the 3 options that you want. Most of the time the options you might want is select and remove 2 cards. So that's one of the pros of the seasonal chaos that you could do that you can't really do in the zero system. So that helps in building like really small decks like this. And obviously if you could go to one of the early question marks and get the mutant sample, which is going to help, you know, remove a card and keep the faint memory the same. So I'll say if you're trying to remove like a lot of cards, the seasonal chaos is probably the best to go with, if I'm being totally honest. So that's another added pro to it. And obviously the cons are probably the pros of the zero system, and the pros of the seasonal chaos or the cons of, you know, the zero system. But yeah, overall, I would probably say if you want to build a DPS character where you're focusing on trying to get duplicates of one card, zero system might be the best place to go to. And I think if you was building a support with like a very small deck, seasonal chaos might be the way to go. I'm not saying that you can't do it in the zero system, you of course can, but it's just probably a lot more easier and less time consuming with the seasonal chaos.
To you